Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video on something quite amazing. So I was at the thrift store today, and I saw an Xbox 360 with a power supply. The 360 being, I think it was $15, and the power supply was $3 or $4. Took it home. I knew there had to be something wrong with it. I tried it at the store, and the disk drive wouldn't open. So that's either a really dirty drive or a bad belt or a mixture of both. So I took it home, powered it up. Well, first off, I did power it up at the thrift store, but since I didn't have any audio video cables, it's gonna just automatically flash the 4 rings without that plugged in. So I really had no idea what was with it. I could just tell that the disk drive wasn't working. It is an older model that doesn't have the HDMI port. But that's fine for me. I mean, this is just really wanting to get this to see if it even worked and if I could get it working. Well, I powered it up at home and it turned on. I was really surprised. It booted up to the dashboard. And about 5 seconds to 10 seconds later, it completely froze. Which I automatically knew then that that's a problem with the CPU or GPU overheating. So when I looked at the case, it looked like someone may have tried to get into it. The warranty sticker, the Microsoft warranty sticker was broken. There's a couple other things that kind of showed signs of someone trying to get in it. Once I got into it, it looked like they hadn't gotten any farther than trying to just take off the 2 top cases here. So when I opened it, look what I found. Look at how much dust is on that one heatsink. I mean, it's just incredible how dirty the system is on the inside. I mean, I took the air compressor to it with just the shell on it. I mean, a little bit of dust came out, but wow, look at that. That's just insane. I'm going to have to... I don't know what, it feels like a blanket. I mean, it's disgusting, but it's hilarious. And I'm sure once I take out this disk drive, I can't wait to see what the other heat sink under it's like, because this is going to be just as bad. So what I'm going to try to do is, well, I'm going to take this all apart. And I've been looking and seeing if I want to keep the X clamps or if I should just put some bolts to keep down these heat sinks. And I've read mixtures of people say do it, some people say don't do it, you're just gonna cause uneven flexing of the board and it's gonna warp, and which all makes sense, but I don't know. I'm gonna definitely have to pop off those X clamps and put on some Arctic Silver 5, because whatever's under there is definitely dried up and burnt up with as hot as this thing must have been running. It's amazing that it didn't have a red ring of death for imagine the amount of heat on the chip, and then on top of it, this is an insulator. It's just insane, at least to me. So I'll pop that off and then we'll take a look at what's under there and see what's going on. Just as I thought. Now, it's not as dirty as this other heat sink, but it's still quite dirty. I mean, it's even like under it, and then the disk drive has some on it. So let's see. I honestly think, from what I remember, I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I think this one's the CPU and this one's the GPU. I remember the CPU because I've worked on one of these before, but I didn't have any success with bringing it back. I tried to reflow it, but I remember this heatsink being for the GPU and for the CPU, and this one for the GPU. Now, something I saw on the internet that I'm probably going to do is saw out this grill for the fans. I mean, it's just unnecessary, and with me and my systems, I keep them maintained. I wouldn't say I'm the average consumer. I will take my Xbox, my Slim 360 and all that outside, once every couple months and blow it out with the air compressor, especially if I use it a lot. I'm not going to let it ever no way in hell get this dirty. This is just insane. So I'm gonna clean it up tomorrow, and I'll post how that all went, and we'll see if maybe after I clean it up and put some new thermal paste on, if it'll stay running. Um, Hopefully it didn't cause. I'm sure it caused damage in some way or another, because that's just it freezing like that's just not good. That's what leads to a red ring if well the E74 or whatever it is the solder joints are it's gonna get a cold solder joint, because this thing gets so damn hot, and then it cools down when the board flexes. It breaks the solder ball. So hopefully I can keep it a little cooled. I mean, these systems, especially the ones, I think from what I've heard without the HDMI, are notorious for red ring. So I mean, hopefully I don't know if I can avoid it by keeping it maintained, but as far as capacitors, they all look good. I mean, nothing bloated, but that doesn't mean they're bad. That doesn't mean they're not bad, but just visually they look to be working. Everything. The one I had, it was completely dead when I got it. I got that one at Savers like a year or two back. Tried to reflow it, didn't have any luck, and then I tried. I tried to reflow it again, and I ended up bloating some capacitors with the heat gun. Heat gun is not the way to reflow. You need a rework station. You need a hot air station, all that to do reflowing. Or to do a reball, you need like a BGA station. So I was definitely not using the correct tools, but I knew that going into it. I don't have that kind of money to invest in a $60, $70 360. I'll just go buy a new one. I'm not gonna at this point in time. Most people aren't going out and buying or having people repair their 360. They're just gonna go out and buy a Slim, which is extremely reliable, at least from my luck. I've never had a problem with a Slim. Had plenty of problems with these ones and the Elites and the arcade models. They're all very poorly designed. Something else I thought of was I'm probably gonna drill some holes possibly in the top of the shell, and put like a mesh covering, because I mean heat rises. That's one thing I personally think, and I'm sure other people think, this was a bad design, because heat rises, so the heat's gonna rise off these heat sinks. And I mean, they got the right idea, trying to get the heat out at least. But I mean, you'll look at the 360, the Slim 360. At least I know the Slim. I'm not sure on the E model how the cooling on that's designed, but I know the Slim 360 and the Xbox One. They both have the heat. They have grills on the top with a fan, a single fan, blowing the air up out. Which, excuse me, is a proper design, because heat rises. So I'm probably going to do that with this if I can get it working. When I first picked it up, I was about 95% sure this was going to be a red ring system. I was extremely surprised to see that it even booted to the dashboard, and it looks like it hasn't been used online, at least, or used in general, for a while, because it has the original what was it, the new Xbox experience, the original dashboard that was released for that, where we first saw the avatars. That's what's loaded on here. So this hasn't been correctly powered up, or even maybe used online something. It seems like in quite a few years. So that's interesting. And like I said, for the drive, it's probably just really dirty, and it has a bad belt, which is not a big deal. I think I ordered some belts for the original Xbox. Maybe they'll fit this one, I don't know. If not, maybe I'll boil it. That's like a 50-50 shot, and that's only a temporary fix, but I'll have to order one. For anybody wondering, this is a HL drive. This is not a Samsung. This is a Hitachi LG Data Data Storage Incorporated. It's pretty cool. And this Xbox, I when I was reading it, the info on the back, I thought it said it came out of the factory manufactured December 25th, 2007, or 8. 8 or 7. I think it's 7. Yeah, 2007. But actually, it was let's see, it's not that piece, it must be this piece. Yes. See, I thought it was on Christmas, but it's actually the day after Christmas. That would have been pretty funny. So yeah, it's an older model. Like I said, I paid $14.75 for it, plus the power supply. Wasn't sure if I had a bad power supply previously, so I just picked that one up just to cancel out all that all the possibilities with that. This did not come with a hard drive. Not a big deal. I have a I can just go buy one, and even then you can just use like a USB. You can use a flash drive with these now, which is nice. So I mean, even then, if I wanted a hard drive, I could just go buy one for cheap. They're not too expensive. Get a 60 gig or something like that. This is primarily just for down here in my work area. I'll put it up there, something with my stuff. That's my dad's helicopter stuff. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else I can ramble about and drag this out any longer. I don't think so, but yeah, so dust. Remember, dust is the enemy. Alright guys, so thought I might as well just keep on working. Got the X clamps off. Look at the heat sinks. This one looks like it wasn't cooling very well, I could tell you that. Look at the thermal paste is super dried up. Super cheap thermal paste. Looks like it's like ran off. And this is the one, yes, this is the one for the GPU. That is the GPU. So I was right with the two. Right, I couldn't believe it. This one, just look at the dust under it. It's again that cheap thermal paste. I mean, it did the job for I don't know how many years. Now, let's see the extremely obvious reason of why this overheated so quickly. Look at how much dust is on or next to the die, the GPU, and the CPU is even worse. Like I said, dust is an insulator. It's like a blanket. So this thing was already hot, and then it had a blanket on it. These capacitors are just dirty as all can be. This is fucking crazy. So, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of 360s that look like this, but I've never seen a system this dirty, like a video game system, this dusty at least. I've seen really dirty and nasty systems like the Genesis I had with spilled soda or juice all over it. That one took me a while to clean, but I mean, so dusty. It's just, wow. Yep, there's your CPU right there. That it really doesn't have any thermal paste on it itself. All the thermal paste is on the heat sink, and the heat sink, the thermal paste is about as dry as it gets. So this is why we're having a overheating for sure. And this, I mean, very, very little thermal paste. And I honestly don't know if this stuff is conductive or not. I know the Arctic Silver 5 is conductive, but I don't know what they use if it's conductive. But it looks like it's been running all over these. I think those are transistors. Could be wrong. It's been resistor. Is either resistors or transistors running all over them. No, those are resistors. These I think are transistors. Anyways, yeah. So that's that. It's just crazy how much dust got on this. I never let my stuff get like this. I'm very particular. We got our that's whatchamacallit, having a brain fart. Then there's your video encoder right there, or decoder encoder. Pretty much sends out the signal to here, kind of converts the signal for something the TV will understand. What else do I know? If this damn thing would focus, there it goes. What else we got on the board? Oh, these are some more RAM chips here, and those are covered by the heatsink, I think. The heatsink goes over these. I don't know why they don't have thermal paste, because the ones on the bottom sure have like a thermal pad. Those have a thermal pad, which are dusty. I'll have to clean them up. Maybe order some more, some new ones, some better ones. Clean them up and order some in the meantime. Yeah, this thing is way too dirty to even work. It's the problem. These are RAM chips. Let's see if I can get my focus right. Samsung looks like. I don't know if the macro is going to work on this. There it goes. If you're curious what chip it is, let me clean it off a little bit. It's kind of hard to read. Yeah, that's the system RAM. And the same on the other side. Not sure what that chip exactly is. I think that's though, that's like your, they call it South Bridge, North Bridge, or something like that. That's what I think that is. Pretty much controls like the I/O and things like that. I believe, could be wrong. But I'll clean this up, and tomorrow we'll see if it works, if it stays working, or if it's damaged forever. Oh no.